Hey guys, it is Mannix the Pirate, aka Brandon, and I am interviewing Sam Singleton, Atheist Evangelist. Are you there, Sam?
Yes, I am.
Alright, that's great. Now, I've talked to a lot of people about you, and I've linked your YouTube channel a couple times in my blog TV, but for those who are watching now who don't know who you are, what it is you do, go ahead and explain a little bit about yourself.
I'm an atheist evangelist.
And what exactly is that?
It's an atheist who is like an evangelist. Or conversely, it's an evangelist who's atheist.
That does make sense. Okay. All right. Well, a lot of people become atheists for different reasons. How old were you when you became an atheist? Was it some kind of event that took place in your life, or was it a gradual process with it, like it is with a lot of people?
I was 14. I was raised in a particularly extreme Pentecostal, fundamentalist, snake-handling, tongue-speaking environment. But I was 14 before I had finally decided to read the Bible. And once I read the entire Bible from start to finish, God's days were numbered.
Oh, yeah.
The period of becoming an atheist probably took about 2 years. I wanted to give God every chance to pan out. And so I chased down a lot of blind alleys and finally came to my senses at the age of 14. That's about your age now, isn't it, Mannix? 14.
I hate you so much. I'm 21.
Oh, geez, you really? So that hair's starting to fill in a little bit down there, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I understand that as far as snake handling goes, and certain religious groups, what would you say was the what turned you off about the religion prior to you deciding to read the Bible to see for yourself what was in there and what the religion was all about?
It was fucking scary. It was terrifying. Seriously, being in a small room in a little church in the Ozarks, way back in a holler in the middle of the night with a bunch of people who were screaming and jumping around and speaking in tongues, and then throw in a bunch of rattlesnakes and copperheads. That shit's scary. I don't care how old you are. Even if I was 8 years old, they were doing that shit. That's scary shit.
Wow.
So I guess that might have planted the germ in my brain.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. No, there are a lot of, I imagine there are a lot of people out there who unfortunately have to deal with that. Would you say would you have called it child abuse?
Yeah. I don't know. You could call it anything you like, but I can't come up with a better word than abuse right off the top of my head.
Oh.
Actually, I've thought about it for many years, and abuse is still the only word I can come up with. Top of my head or otherwise.
Okay. So you have a website, samsingleton.com.
And it's pretty fucking great, too.
Oh yeah, I went there, and there is a place where you can buy Brother Sam a beer, which I thought was extra awesome.
Oh, hell yeah. We're on the road, We're leaving on, I don't know what day, but we're playing a bunch of dates in the Midwest and Southeast.
Okay.
And I'm going to be thirsty all along the way, so check the website. Rendezvous with Brother Sam. Just be sure you have a beer.
Of course. So you're on the road a lot. What is it you do? I understand you have a show.
Yeah, that, and I sell ladies' shoes door to door.
Can you tell us a little bit about your show?
Yeah, it comes in 2 parts. The part A. Well, I don't think I call it that. I think I call it Act 1. Yeah, That's it. Act 1. Act 1 is it has 2 parts in and of itself. And the first part is the story of Sam. So it's kind of Sam Singleton's biography, his testimony, if you will. And the second part is kind of an examination of the role of God in American life. And in Act 2 is the Bible class taught by Brother Sam. It's a Sunday school class called Patriarchs and Penises, in which Brother Sam examines the role of the penis throughout the Bible.
Could you explain that one to me a little bit?
Yeah, it turns out that the Bible, and this is what I learned when I was 14, once I finally read the Bible, the entire Bible is nothing but some really juvenile penis joke. I didn't know that, but it's a whole, the narrative thread that ties the whole damn book together is penises. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed?
Well, I find it interesting. I imagine you talk to a lot of religious people while you're on the road. Is that correct?
Not if I can help it.
Oh, well, I see. I was watching one of your videos on your YouTube channel, and you do have a YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/atheistevangelist, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you were talking in one video about why you don't debate theists.
Fuck them, that's why.
Oh man. Well, here's my question for you. Any good debater will tell you that it's always good to understand the arguments for both sides and try to be able to argue both sides equally well.
Yeah, I can understand the argument about 2 seconds flat. Next question.
Well, if you were a religious person and you were making an argument for God, what would you say your strongest argument would be?
There is none. It's a 1 million way tie for zero. All values zero are the same. You make a convincing argument for total bullshit. Well, no, I can't do that. Thanks, but yeah, still bullshit. No matter how capable or articulate the speaker, the argument is still total crap. You can call it a Tootsie Roll, but I'm still not going to eat it.
Oh man.
So anyway, no, there is no good argument. The way you can really reveal that is to anytime the subject of God comes up, whether it's anytime the subject of God comes up, cross out the word God and write in Santa. And suddenly it becomes, the utter absurdity of the argument becomes apparent at the mere substitution of those two words. And if anybody of age purported to advance the arguments in favor of Santa Claus that are advanced for God, and by the way, there's exactly the same amount of evidence for the existence of both of them. People would come after him with a net.
Oh man. Oh no, I find that interesting. You've seen the movie Religulous by Bill Maher, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh well, I find it interesting. There was a part in the movie where Bill Maher had said he had asked a woman.
Don't you ever want to slap that smirk off of his face, though? Huh? I'm sorry. Go ahead, please. Goddamn, Bill Maher. Okay, go ahead.
He does have a bit of a god complex.
He says he's not an atheist. He's like an atheist. He's like, I don't have a penis. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, he won't say what he is. He's like I didn't. This is how he responds to everybody. He's like, I never said I don't believe in God. I don't believe in religion. Well,
let me know when your other testicle descends there, Bill.
Oh, he was asking a woman at this Bible amusement park or something like that. If you switched the stories in the Bible with the fairy tales you were told as a kid, if instead of Jonah being eaten by the whale in the Bible, it was Jack and the Beanstalk, do you think you'd be able to tell the difference? And obviously, of course, the stories are so ridiculous and outlandish. It's amazing that people believe them, but there are plenty of people who do, and it is just astounding. Do you think there will ever be a time when people are rational and stop believing in things just because someone told them at one point in their lives that it was true?
Hell no. Well, it hasn't happened yet. That's expecting a lot of people. People aren't that fucking smart. Come on. They look around. No. Right, the number of people who claim to not believe in God appears to be growing, but I don't see it reaching any sort of critical mass during my lifetime, or hell, during yours either, you 14-year-old bastard.
I hope you're wrong. Oh, I know.
No, really. People aren't wise enough that smart. You know, the fact is that the people who who have it. Geez, you know, Brother Sam is not usually tongue-tied, but goddamn. The people who have an interest in perpetuating the myth of God are also the people who, not only comprise a huge majority, but have at their disposal all the means of everything to carry that idea forward.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it's what did Bill O'Reilly called it something in his show. He referred to it as I think it was the white Christian power structure in America. And yeah, I guess that's what he called it. I guess he called it the white Christian power structure, and he said he was a part of it, and someone else, I guess, he was. You know,
he's actually a female. Do you know that?
What now?
Female. He's a girl. Most people do not know that about him. He is actually a genetic female. He's a girl. He's actually a 7-year-old girl.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
Oh, no, it's fine, Brother Sam. Oh, man. Okay, everybody, that was Brother Sam, Atheist Evangelist. He is a character created by someone that I know and met when I was 14, ironically, named Roger Scott Jackson.
Hey, Brandon!
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Jackson? And I still call you Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Jackson was, before he became Brother Sam and started doing a show, an English teacher at my high school in Wichita, Kansas. And he was actually my debate coach. And I'm surprised you remember me, to be honest with you. I mean, I remember sending you that email last year when I found out what you were doing, and when you responded back, I'm like, oh my God, he actually remembers me. That's awesome.
Well, trust me, that giant wart in the middle of your forehead, nobody's ever going to forget. Come on.
Oh, no,
that sounded like Brother Sam. No. You were an especially perspicacious student, and of course you embedded yourself into my psyche. There was never a night when I didn't go to sleep thinking about you. Now, goddamn, I gotta. Okay, let me. Firstly, Mr. Jackson doesn't say goddamn.
Oh,
yes,
man.
No, you were. That was blood experience. I was having a wonderful time, as you could probably tell.
Oh,
and
man.
You certainly were a student that stuck. I would have remembered the case.
All right, give me just a second here. You're cutting in and out a little bit. I noticed it earlier, but I think it's getting a little worse. I think it might be my setup here. All right, let's see. Hopefully that'll fix it. Well, no, I mean, I can't help but think, like, what did I do for him to remember? Because teachers, especially if you're a teacher for a long time, many years, you have dozens and then hundreds and then thousands of students over the years, and then it's like, how can you remember any in particular? And it's just, I don't know.
No, that's easy. That is totally easy. You were the most questioning and, in your own way, confrontational student I ever had. And by your own way, I mean amazingly sort of self-possessed and low-key, I would say. And this word is way overused, but it absolutely applies here. Possessed of a tremendous intensity and this probative curiosity that simply would countenance no bullshit. It's like there's this line in Sam Singleton, Atheist Evangelist, Patriarchs and Penises, in which Sam Brother Sam is talking about when he was a kid, and he says, "My bullshit meter was fixed in the super sensitive mode." Well, that was you at the age I met you. You were exactly that. And it's not something that I think anyone who meets you is likely to forget, and certainly not anybody who spends any time with you. And I suspect that quality is what comes across in your videos.
Oh, well, you know what? That's very kind of you to say, and I'm totally going to take that at face value. So, what is when did you start doing the show? When did you become Brother Sam officially?
I think it was in August of 2008 that I decided to finally put in action the idea of a play about an atheist evangelist, and it was one that I'd been kicking around since, well, immediately after I became an atheist as a teenager. And so it had been gestating for a long time. The character Sam Singleton himself was cut from a novel that I wrote back in the 80s, and rather than have to contrive a backstory and everything that goes with developing a fully fleshed character, I decided to cannibalize this character for that I had kind of tossed in the ash heap, and Sam Singleton lives.
Okay. I find it interesting. This wouldn't happen to be the same novel.
You're damn right it is.
It is.
You're one of the few people on earth that have actually heard part of that novel. It's never been published. I used to read it to my English students.
Yeah, I can't remember what you changed the name a couple of times.
It's probably just as well. We don't want to say the name now, so I don't want to queer the big publishing deal that's doubtlessly in the pipeline. It was pretty fucking great, though, wasn't it, Brandon? Come on.
Well, I want to be honest with you. I've wanted to have a book published for a long time. I probably don't have the patience to take the route that you're taking. So I'm probably going to go take the self-publishing route. Have you ever considered that?
Yeah, that used to sort of be a mark of Cain in the publishing industry, but apparently much, much less so with each passing day. And all of the old assumptions and paradigms in publishing are clearly falling, and whether it's in journalism or book publishing. And we want to go into electronic publishing and Kindle and like that, and iBooks.
Well, I know that Sam Harris started off with a self-published book, I think, anyway.
Yeah, and it really killed his career, didn't it?
Well, he's actually doing quite well. Him and the other three horsemen going out, book tours, bestseller lists. Oh, man. No, I find it interesting. I remember when I started going on YouTube, the atheism, the idea of atheism, and the entire culture behind it didn't really become apparent to me until I started digging deeper just a couple of years ago. And then that's when I started hearing about Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, etc. And this all seems to be, relatively new movement, I guess you could say, in America. Did you time your choice to do this show now that atheism is starting to become more, not so, taboo, or not such a bad word, I guess you could say, as it was, 10, 15 years ago?
That's a good question. The answer is yes. Absolutely. I think one of the catalysts for finally acting upon this idea that I, again, had been toting around for a long, long time was that atheism finally seemed to be in an ascendancy in the culture. And that atheists like Dawkins were suddenly visible and making waves and being heard. And none of them, it seemed to me, were, and it takes nothing away from any of them, but none of them were doing precisely what I had in mind. And certainly the time seemed right.
Okay. Well, I totally agree. I imagine the response probably would have been very different had you chose to do this 10 years ago. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd be fucking dead. It's still scary, but
Oh, yeah. How is the response? Is it overall? Is it positive overall? Did you have any shows at all where
some people are so nice, and that really has been universally the case. And we typically do a social hour or two following each show, either at the venue or at a nearby pub. And we, the company, and I have really come to look forward to those occasions. Very often, we'll do a meetup or two in the days preceding a show. Or sometimes just when we're passing through a town and we have contacts or friends that we'd like to pass some time with. But people are universally nice to us. We haven't achieved the degree of notoriety yet, apparently, that attracts the real loonies. We did a show at Topeka earlier this year, and we kept hoping the Westboro Baptist creeps would show up. They never did. I felt kind of crestfallen.
Oh man, that reminds me, I need to do an interview with Shirley Phelps. Oh my god. And those people are publicity whores. I mean, they will talk to anybody. I find that very interesting.
Yeah, apparently they were dancing.
Oh man. Well, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
But Fred Phelps did ask me out on a date, so at least I got that.
Oh, that was sweet of him. Oh, Grandpa Phelps. Oh man, that guy scares the shit out of me. Oh, he knows how to scream. Ugh. So, where is your next destination? You were in Canada recently, weren't you? Doing the show.
We just came back from shows in Vancouver and Victoria, BC, and don't get me started. They're wonderful, beyond belief. Particularly, they're just wonderful, both cities. And we did a show in Edmonds, Washington, which is it's in the greater Seattle area. We'll be at we're doing a meetup in Perrysville, Ohio. You can get the exact location on the website this coming Saturday. And then I think our next actual staging of the show is November 19th in Asheville, North Carolina at the Rocket Club. And we'll be doing, and tickets are on sale now at www.samsingleton.com. And we're going to be at the Westport Flea Market Bar and Grill in Kansas City, Missouri on December 2nd. That's going to be a great one. We were in Westport a few months ago. Kansas City is such a great town, and there's a large heathenistic community there, and it's always a favorite stop.
And
I think we're going to do a meetup in Lawrence, Kansas, the home of Kansas, or University of Kansas, on Tuesday, December 1st, probably at Free State Brewery.
A Free State Brewery. That's actually a lot closer to Wichita than Kansas City. So, wow. I might have to stop by and have a beer with you. I mean, I'd be able to drive out to Kansas City, don't get me wrong. It's not on the weekend. I have to do my Army crap, but wow, the gas.
You get to Lawrence or Kansas City, and Brother Sam will buy you a beer.
All right, Brother Sam will buy me a beer. All right, deal.
Or somebody will buy some damn buddy a beer.
All right. So I find it interesting. I can remember back when you were my teacher. I was a freshman in high school, and you were my English teacher and my debate coach.
Yeah, I was big and fat back then. I lost like 150, 200, 300 pounds in the meantime. But anyway, go ahead.
Man.
Walking down memory lane.
No, it's interesting. Because I sat there and I thought about it for a long time. And when I found your YouTube videos on your website and I recognized that it was you, it didn't surprise me that you were an atheist. Partly because I remember you being very, very intelligent. And in the event that I found out that you were a believer, I probably would have slapped you. Because I guess you could say, it's very difficult for me. I guess a lot of atheists will say, I don't hate the person, I hate the religion. And I have
that's just the same stuff that believers say, isn't it? Oh, I don't hate the sinner, I just hate the sin.
Yeah, well, that's a crock of shit. I have a very difficult time convincing myself that that's the case for me. And I find myself not fully willing to really either I don't know, accept it, I don't think that's the right word, but really let somebody in, I guess you could say, if they tell me that they're... I have a very hard time telling other people that I'm an atheist, especially in the military. Oh, that's not a place you want people to find out. And so it's something I usually keep to myself. I don't make videos on YouTube about atheism, at least not anymore. I don't... although I'd like to, I just haven't really thought of anything I'd like to post particularly. But for me, it's difficult. I mean, your character, you're an atheist. Your character is an atheist, obviously. When people meet you, like your friends and family members, do you surround yourself by a lot of atheists, agnostics, freethinkers, or do you have a lot of religious people that you keep close to you? And if so, how do you manage to? Is your family religious?
My family, while not identical to Sam Singleton's fictional family, is not all that different. I mean, they, certainly are very strictly religious and fundamentalistic, and the fact is that they have reacted to Sam Singleton, atheist evangelist, about how you would expect them to react. That is somewhat beyond disapproval. Having said that, both politically and religiously, since I was in my early teens, I found myself having to accommodate the fact that most of the people I cared about, most of the people I was lucky enough to have care about me, felt radically different about those two areas than I, both religion and politics. And thus, I had to find a way of accommodating that. I had them as people I could love and admire and respect, and to at the same time be faithful to my own values and my own ideas about truth and honesty. And it's a tricky proposition. There's no easy way around it. And I think that's something that all atheists have to grapple with. The fact is, we live in a culture that is, overwhelmingly theistic. And if you resolve that only people whose beliefs are identical or sufficiently similar to yours are worthy of able to be among close confederates, you're going a pretty damn long way. I have a responsibility to it. I mean, there are certainly people that believe differently than I do, who in various ways depend on me. And I have to honor that as well, notwithstanding our differences, politically or religiously.
Well, for me, I find it interesting. I hear all of these stories about other atheists who, I don't know, come out to their religious parents or too afraid to tell, the people in their lives that they're an atheist or that they're non-believers because they feel that they'll be rejected, especially down south. I remember watching a YouTube video by a kid who went to school in the Bible Belt, and his family were deeply religious, and Jesus Christ, that God's name came up quite frequently in school. He was surrounded by very religious peers, and he was afraid to come out and say, I don't believe what you believe, because he was afraid he wasn't going to be accepted anymore, or that he would be shunned because he was an atheist. And so he made a video, and he asked people for some advice, and it was very difficult for me to put myself in his shoes, because for the most part I never really had to deal with that problem, because although my parents...
You will.
I imagine. My parents were... Well, as far as my parents go, I mean, my parents are both believers, but I was raised in a very secular home. I didn't have Jesus crammed down my throat every day, like a lot of other kids whose parents make them go to church and things like that. And so if there was any advice that you could give to any kids who have problems like that, what would it be?
Do what you got to do to get by. I was in that exact situation. I mean, an awful lot of non-believers, and for that matter, a lot of kids who in some way or other represent the other have to first get through life. Got to find ways of living and coping, and sometimes that means accommodation. That's the price of life in the United States, and the cost of being an infinitesimal little minority in essentially a theocracy. Welcome to the real world. But I say, at all costs, hold on to your own values and your own identity, and someday you'll grow up and be big and strong like Brother Sam.
All right. I think that's all I have for you. I wish I could keep asking you questions, but unfortunately I am limited to 10 minutes for a YouTube video, so I'm probably going to have to upload this in a couple parts, and I want to keep it as short as possible. So before I let you go, I want to thank you for letting me interview you. And when I cut the camera off, we can talk for a few more minutes. But is there anything else you'd like to add or bring up before we end this interview?
No, but thank you very much. It's a genuine pleasure, Brandon. I'm delighted and frankly very complimented that you would want to do this. Good boy.
All right, everybody. You can find Sam Singleton's website in the description box, samsingleton.com. You can go there. You can find out when his shows are at, where they're at. There's a link to his YouTube channel and a couple of YouTube videos of Sam Singleton that I like very much. Go check him out if you haven't, and if you like him, subscribe. If you can, go check out his show. All right, cool.